Hello and welcome. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce to the Lokvani audience, Dr. Subra Dravida, who is the president of Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, New England chapter. In his professional life, Dr. Dravida serves as vice president of technology at Qualcomm. He has had extensive technical experience in the field of wireless communication, and he has over 60 patents to his credit in a range of bandwidth areas, starting from 2G to the current 5G. If you have a little mobile phone, which we all do, some of his innovation is most likely part of that little phone. It is such a pleasure, Dr. Dravida, to have you on the interview. Namaste and welcome.
Thank you, Ranjani ji. It is a pleasure for me to be in this forum. And thank you for that very generous introduction.
It's your background, and it's so exciting that that we know somebody who is actually making the difference, that is changing lives in such a profound way, not only in your professional career, but also in your philanthropic area where you are giving both time and money to Ekal Vidyalaya. And I hear now Ekal Vidyalaya is hosting a Power of Education Forum on October 16th at the Hyatt Regency in Cambridge. So could you tell us a little bit about this event?
Power of Education Forum started in 2013. And I must say that, Ranjani ji, you have always been instrumental in organizing these Power of Education forums. The basic objective of the forum was to involve the Ekal volunteers and the Ekal donors in a discussion with experts and entrepreneurs who can actually improve the Ekal projects and move it to a new level. So basically, we discuss the future of Ekal in these forums in various ways, whether it's education or health and other projects related to Ekal. And this forum has resulted in a tremendous number of innovations that we have been able to introduce into Ekal. But most importantly, we are able to engage the donors and the volunteers in a very serious discussion. They are not there merely to give money, but they are there to give us ideas, their energy, their time. And in this regard, the Power of Education Forum has played a very powerful role. One example is Ekal on Wheels. It's a project where this minivan, basically a bus, outfitted with a number of laptops and a satellite link, actually goes around the villages teaching a lot of young people how to use a computer and so on. So that came out of one of these forums. So similar such examples, I won't go into them right now. Yeah. So now we are holding the 9th version of this forum, and it's the first time we are holding in 3 years. The last one was on March 2020, and after that, because of COVID, we could not hold it. I'm very excited that we are holding this forum now. A lot of energy has come into this, and a lot of excitement has been expressed by our donors and volunteers. I welcome anyone who is listening to this. If you are in the Boston area, please come and join us. It'll be a very educational and illuminating forum.
But it's not just educational. Of course, I think we have a fabulous keynote speaker, and I would love for you to talk about the keynoter, but also it's entertaining. We have some good music that's going to go on for this. Absolutely, right? So tell us about the keynote speaker. By the way, for our audiences, we have put QR code about this event on the video itself, so you can click the QR code to go take a look and purchase your tickets for the event. But tell us about the keynoter.
Yeah, the keynoter is Dr. Eric Klopfer. He's from MIT. He's one of the world's leading experts on digital education. And actually, digital education, he views it from many different perspectives, not just for educational purposes, but also for gaming, for recreation as well. And he's actually, comes from a background of both technology as well as psychology. So therefore, he knows what is the best way to engage the children as they learn. And he's a proponent of what we call gamified education, where the kids are learning. They think they're playing a game, but they're learning. So it actually improves their cognitive skills unbeknownst to them, So it's a very powerful method of learning, and he has been a big proponent of it. And he has also worked with people in various other countries, not just in the US. So he has a good field experience on how this kind of education can be promoted in various parts of the world. So
Right.
we are looking forward to getting some very good, lessons learned, as well as ideas that we can implement in Ekal. It'll be very exciting to learn that. In addition to the keynote speaker, Dr. Klopfer, we also have an extraordinary donor panel. It consists of, some leading donors for Ekal who are also entrepreneurs. Just to mention some names, we have people from the Janki Foundation. That's Mr. Mahesh Navani's foundation. We have Mukesh Chatterjee, who's a very well-known entrepreneur in the area. We also have Vandana Sharmaji, who's also a leading philanthropist and entrepreneur from this area. So, and they're going to tell us their insights, what is their experience been working with Ekal and working with Ekal projects. They have traveled quite extensively. It'll be very exciting for everyone to hear the kind of difference that Ekal is making in the lives of rural children as well as villagers in India.
And that's the exciting part, because people like Vandana have traveled extensively and
Yes.
is, not just giving money, but she's actually working with the people in the village. Now, my question to you is that, the pandemic has been hard on everybody. And, now Ekal, was there a pivot that happened? Is there a change that's happening post Ekal? And also, you're talking a lot about digital education.
Yes.
Is there bandwidth? I know you're a 5G person, and I know Modi just launched 5G in a big
Yes.
way. So, but do
Yes.
you think it's a reality that we can actually bring gamified learning into the villages?
Yeah, again, very good questions. So actually, to be fair and to be absolutely accurate, we've been thinking about digital education and also some of the other projects we'll talk about later on, even before COVID happened. Okay. So we started to implement them on a certain small scale and so on and so forth. But however, COVID has actually brought into immense focus the importance of certain things like digital education. So for example, right, for about 18 months, those who did not have the digital tools had no education at all. We cannot let that happen again. This is really something we have to take care of. And then, so digital education does two things. As we saw during COVID, it maintains certain continuity in education. And we also believe that it can also improve the quality of education, because now they have access to the best possible teachers, the best possible learning tools, and we can greatly improve the quality of education. For these two reasons, now we have to place tremendous amount of emphasis moving forward into the future, and we are taking a lot of steps. We are conducting pilots. We are trying to, train teachers in digital education. We'll take a number of steps to scale digital education in Ekal villages as quickly as possible. In addition to digital education, I must also mention that the health infrastructure in the villages is not adequate.
Right.
And that also came to fore during the COVID. And luckily, just because of our sheer reach into these villages, our teachers were able to teach the villagers about the benefits of quarantining and making masks and wearing masks and so on, and all of that was extraordinarily useful during COVID. But now we have to do something about that health infrastructure. That is one of the other major projects that we are focused on. We want the villagers to have the benefit of some degree of health care, and also to be buttressed and supported by telemedicine, where a doctor who might be in a city can provide consultation to these villagers on various issues that they're having, various diseases and issues that they have in the village.
Right. No, that's really fantastic that you are really expanding your services beyond that basic literacy, that we had started out, and using the current infrastructure that Ekal has built, the platform that Ekal has, the physical platform of a live and permanent presence that Ekal has built in the villages. Now you're providing additional services. That is really exciting. So I wanted to ask you, this is a question that often comes up. Why should people staying in, say, New England care about
Yes.
rural India? Why should we invest in rural India?
Okay. So that is another great question. So in India, as we all know, 70% of the population lives in our villages. And obviously, similarly, proportionately, even children, there are lots of children also who live in the villages.
Yeah.
So this is already the 75th year of our independence. And our Prime Minister Modi ji has laid out some, goals for the 100th, anniversary of our independence. And the most important thing is these children and these villages are huge assets. And as you well know, the economy has become globalized, and also, there's technology is playing a major role here. And Modi ji actually, in fact, has made it a mission to introduce communications technology to these villages. It was a bit slow in the beginning, but with the advent of Geo and so on, it has grown like wildfire. And now 5G spectrum has also been released. So we have to be forward looking, and it's a matter of just time that all of them will come to these villages. These technologies will become widespread and pervasive. And in the meantime, of course, we are always prepared. Suppose that a particular village does not have certain, base stations and so on, infrastructure, we still can work offline. So with this combination, we want to reach them. But as I said, if you are interested in the future of India, in fact, then I think Ekal is the best investment in the future of India, because education actually improves not that just that generation, but it improves the generations for the future as well. So I think that if you are interested in bringing all these, 70% of the population into this global economy, this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, and somebody actually said that that now, urban India, which was actually leading in the development of India, is, I mean, I kind of think saturated, and it is this
Yes.
demographic dividend that's going to come from rural India, from
Yes.
that
Yes.
70%, and
Yeah.
investing in it is not just good for, I think, India, but for the world at large, I
But
would
for the
say,
world at
right?
large.
Yeah, would you say
That's
that?
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, absolutely. I would say that because, we are all interconnected in
yeah,
some fashion,
yeah.
right? So, for example, in the prevention of future pandemics, again, same thing, everybody has to play a role.
Yeah.
We saw that, right?
Yeah.
You cannot be an island.
Yeah.
You cannot be an island in these days. So we have to, make sure that everybody is traveling together on the same path.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always think about this, right? In the past, during
Yeah.
just post-independent India, people invested in the IITs, America
Yes.
invested in
Yes.
IITs, different. And now those graduates are changing American companies. They are innovating, just
Absolutely.
like yourself. And,
Yes.
this is so I think now investing in rural India, again, I'm
Yes.
sure the brains are there. It just needs the right investment and
Yes,
support.
they
So
will change India and they will change the world as well.
world as well. So,
Yes.
any message for our viewers? Of course, we will remind them that the Power of Education is on October
Yes.
16th at the Hyatt Regency in Cambridge.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
start, at 4:30, and then we're going to have a fabulous dinner. And
Yes.
actually, we have a young rapper who's
Right.
going to
Right.
come and present, right? You want to tell us
Yes.
a little bit about
That's
Anish?
Yeah. Anish is a very exciting rapper. He's very highly educated. He's a professional, but on the side, he is also building up his career as a rapper. He actually did a song for us a few years ago for Ekal that was extraordinarily widely received. And I'm sure that a lot of the young people who will come to the forum will be watching this and will be very excited to hear a fresh new voice who's has entertainment value plus also a social value. He can rap about social causes and Ekal and so on. It'll be very interesting and exciting. In addition, there is the whole program. We will learn a lot about different projects. I must mention also that we are in Ekal now. We are promoting women's empowerment in a very big way, and there are many success stories to share.
Yeah.
These women from villages are doing extremely well economically based on the skills that Ekal has been able to train them with. So you should come and participate in this and see the kind of difference Ekal is making in the lives of children, in the hygiene and health of the village itself, as well as all the kinds of skills that we are able to impart to young men and young women, and changing their basic, career arcs, their economic future, and in so doing, also helping the country.
That's really fantastic. I saw one of your success stories where there was this woman in Odisha who went to Ekal on Wheels and had started a little e-banking in her home,
Yes,
which is
yes,
was a very exciting story amongst other things, that
right.
so that was
Yes,
a lovely story
yes,
that I saw. So really fantastic. You're exactly right. I think I think organizations like Ekal definitely benefit women almost disproportionately just because there are no other opportunities for women.
that's right.
And hence
That's right.
it behoves us to go ahead
Yes,
and do that. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's a
yes.
very
Eh,
important.
You're so right. Women typically are not encouraged to go long distances to get an education or to get skills training and so on. Here we have, basically, with our reach, with Ekal, we are going into those villages to train them.
Yeah,
That makes a huge difference. The access they have is much different. And once they have this access and then they're able to make, some sort of an income from these,
yeah,
training, then it opens up the whole world and then they can do whatever they want.
exactly. An empowered woman makes for an empowered country. And I think that's a
Makes an empowered. And I think United Nations has said that so many times. They have
yeah.
said that educating or skilling a woman, has a much greater payoff than even educating, men.
Exactly. That is so beautiful. So we really are excited, in this post pandemic world to get together and really hope that all people who's watching this video would come and not only, you keep saying this, right? Not only contribute, of course, financials is needed,
Yes.
but your time, your ideas, and most
Yes.
importantly, join as a volunteer so that together,
Yes.
we
Yes.
can make a difference. Yeah. Any
Together.
final words of wisdom for the Lokvani audience?
No, I think, please come and join us and we will transform rural India. And because of that, India itself and eventually the world.
Mangalam Shubham. That is so great. Thank you, Subra, for taking the time to talk to us. Namaste.
Ranjani ji, it has been my pleasure. Namaste.